I'm Chance with We Sell Broken Bow. Appreciate you tuning in. RIP to my last battery, so I'm not sure exactly when the GoPro went off due to dead battery, but I pulled over just as quickly as I realized it, and I'm back situated here. So down here at the river still, just rolling around, seeing what folks are up to, catching folks out fishing, kayaking, that sort of thing. Not many folks out kayaking, not even really a ton of folks out fishing, but definitely some. All right. So this is essentially the state park area. All right, just kind of cruising around. It's just such a beautiful day. The market's definitely in full swing for the year. Prices are down a little bit compared to 2-3 years ago, but I really don't expect prices to go down anymore at all, hardly. It's really just all so relative to the individual cabin and property and stuff, but there's just a ton of different variables up here on these things. So and the old Harley guys from 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago would be tripping on this thing. Woo! So agile for a Harley. It's a 2024 Lowrider ST. Harley Davidson 2024 Lowrider ST. I imagine the ST stands for Sport Touring. Kind of a smaller bagger bike. Not as big as the Road Glide or the Street Glide, but it's on a soft tail frame, a soft tail setup, and so works for me. Do not have the stereo here. The buddies of mine that do have the bigger bikes with the stereo, they say that, you know, above 60, 70, 80 miles an hour with the helmet on, I mean, the stereo is hardly any good anyways. So these helmets these days are so good with stereo and speakers in the helmet that that's really what makes the most sense. But anyways, Here we are approaching 259 again. We'll get back on 259. I guess we'll head home unless I think of anything last minute that I want to run y'all by. I mean, the reality is summer's right around the corner. Looking forward to getting out on the lake some, doing some fishing, doing some boating stuff, sea-doo stuff with some friends, some girls.
Yeah, boy.
All of that. Looking forward to it. And in the meantime, I'm going to continue these videos. Our goal is to give you a video a week, at least a longer format video like this once a week, where I run around, kind of talk about what's going on, what we're up to, what we're selling, what's going on in the market, developments up here in Broken Bow and Hochatown. So that's what we're up to. Appreciate y'all. We're certainly working full time. Got a handful of buyers that are inquiring on given properties, and they're serious buyers. I mean, half a dozen to a dozen buyers I keep right here in my left-hand pocket and exchange with them, you know, periodically. And some of them are very serious, but they understand, you know, what their money can get them, and they're gonna, you know, stand by that and kind of wait for something that really captivates them, something that really intrigues them, something that pulls them in, and the wife and the kids and all of that. Right location, right look, right finish, you know, this, that, and the other. Because, you know, as much as I could put on my sales hat and be like, oh, the numbers, and hey, it's a good price, and this, that, and the other. You know, I want folks to really enjoy this large, substantial purchase that they're making, and not have any regret about it, and all of that. So anyways, that's what we're up to, just representing these buyers and sellers one at a time, selling these cabins one at a time. I'm the boots on the ground up here, and up here full time, so put us to work. Put us to work. I have a team of admins, awesome people, great people named Franny and Mr. Lucky, husband and wife couple, working with me full time. So really, we're a team of 3. Franny and Lucky are kind of more behind the scenes, marketing stuff, website stuff. You know, Three Creeks Reserve, beautiful neighborhood back there with the amenity center that we popped by at the earlier part of the video. So I've been selling real estate as a real estate agent, started in Texas back more than 10 years ago. So understand the nature of what a realtor's responsibilities and ethics are, and how to work for a buyer, how to work for a seller, how to kind of clue into what either the buyer or the seller is looking for, what's most important to them, help them, you know, consider all options. What are your options? What are the different steps to those various options? Kind of help them think as critically as possible about what they're looking to achieve, all of that. And so I've definitely put the time in terms of real time maintaining my own practice, my own business as a real estate agent. And it's been good to me. I've been good to it. Worked at it full time for the past decade, so I know it pretty well. Get to work from home a lot, the home office on my little ranch down there in Idabel. And the only people, you know, it's not a productive ranch with cattle or nothing like that. The only folks that would say, oh, you're gonna call that a ranch, 80 acres? Like, yeah, the only people that, you know, kind of make fun of that are, you know, kids whose daddies have, you know, 2,000 acres, and, you know, he's his daddy's little ranch hand and stuff. But anyways, I digress. Just venting, having fun, talking shit on my channel, because this is my channel, and this is what I do. This is what I get to do on my own channel, you know, as opposed to anything else. Had half the thought to run down to Dallas today and see some friends, talk some business, and maybe, you know, go out to a little honky-tonk, one of the newer honky-tonk spots in North Dallas. Actually in the Colony in Grandscape, went there what was it? Last weekend before last, something like that, one of their opening nights. It's a pretty fun little spot. It's kind of funny, folks, you know, are surprised when they hear I run down to Dallas, you know, on the weekends for, you know, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, well, y'all come up here on the weekends for fun. I kind of get bored of it from time to time, you know. There's only so many restaurants up here, really. Only so many. And that's another thing, you know, it's like, man, you really got to be careful who you're taking advice from, whether it's from folks on YouTube or otherwise. Really got to be careful, because, you know, it's like there's some folks that you know, are starting to produce these videos about you know, Broken Bow, what it's like to live in Broken Bow, and they sell a couple of cabins up here periodically in Broken Bow, but they're starting to give, you know, information catered towards just Broken Bow YouTube videos, right? And it's like, okay, come on now, like, y'all have not lived in Broken Bow one day or 1 year, right? Much less 5-6 years, much less 10 years. Like, you know, what's it like living in Broken Bow? I'll tell you what it's like living in Broken Bow, and I'm working my way up to it, because it ain't all it's cracked up to be. It's you know, most folks really aren't moving up here. Most folks are not moving up here. Do I think that more folks should move up here? Yes, but you know, do I think younger families that have, like, for example, tech jobs and can work remotely, that want to live a little more rural of a lifestyle? Sure, that makes sense. You know, folks that are more established and, you know, for example, like white collar, you know, CEOs that might want like a second or third home, maybe a ranch home, you know, something like that, or a cabin up here. Yeah, that makes sense. But by and large, most folks are not moving up here to Broken Bow. They're purchasing a second home, or they're financing it as a second home, and really they're here a few days out the month, tops, maybe a few days every other month, and they're renting it out on the short-term rental market in the meanwhile, hoping that it pays for itself or profits a little bit. And the reality is that, by and large, the majority of these cabins right now, if you put down the minimum, 15, 20, 25%, you put down the minimum, finance the majority. It's after a professional manager takes their 15, 20, 25%, it's only a quarter or so of the cabins that are gonna break even. The majority of the cabins will not break even if you're not putting a larger sum of cash down. Period, point blank. You know, we can look, and, you know, I'll find some here and there that'll, like, probably about break even with the 25% down, but then there's so few that then, you know, you start looking at it with your wife, and, oh, well, we like this one, and this one looks better. Why is this one not renting more? And then, you know, folks have the, you know, just that conflicting, you know, kind of that conflict of, you know, should they go for the cabin that they like the looks of more, or the cabin that has the better rental role? And, you know, I'm not one to say that you should do either, but I'll help you look at all the information. So anyways, that's what I'm up to up here in Broken Bow. So we're back down here to Old Town, downtown, and on our way home. So appreciate y'all rolling with me. And we'll talk soon.